in the 60s. I don't know what day or when the first Icelandic altered their fishing line, or fishery boundary lines, I should say. What we'd always been used to was fishing up to the line. There was a 3-mile limit. And everybody, even this country, we had a 3-mile limit. That was supposed to be a cannon shot, and that was your fishing limits. Your line. But Iceland altered theirs, and they said they wanted a 4-mile limit line. But it wasn't going to go coastwise. It was going to go from point to point. So from Stalberg out to south, they'd pick the furthest point off there, and 4 miles from one they'd draw a line across to the next point. So to be all the bays that we used to fish, all the way around the coast, it went coastal. And a lot of the old skippers who'd learnt the 3-mile limit line was doing this without radar, and they used to work all the points, or tar pots as they used to call them, in the mountains. That open and close, you can keep the distance off like that when they didn't have radar. And then when the 4-mile limit come on, well, it could be as far as sometimes 40 miles off the coast, but in some of the bays, you couldn't go into the bay, and they was completely lost. A lot of the old skippers retired, or it was a forced retirement. And of course, we had the Cod War, and then the Navy helped us out. They let us fish, for the first time in the first Cod War, doing 4 miles. That was when I had the skipper of the stable. And the gunboat just used to come alongside and tell you that it was fishing Icelandic waters, territorial waters. And we used to say, well, we don't believe it, because it was so unfair to us. And we had in the end, even with the Navy there, the Navy could only do it so well. That was passed out over, and then we accepted the 4-mile limit line, and we got to know the grounds, the grounds outside the 4-mile limit line. And it didn't stop us catching the fish, even though we found these other little banks and fishing as we did in a bit deeper water. And that didn't seem to suit the Icelandics there, so they said it was going out to 12 mile and was going to keep it point to point, 12 mile. Well, this pushed us way off all the banks then. And this was it did get serious there. It could be 60 mile off the coast of Iceland sometimes, and then when these storms blew up, we were staggering to get under the shelter of the land. You were having to pass to run for shelter. And it still didn't seem to stop into the fishing. Mind you, we weren't catching the really good place. The Icelandic place was stopped, and the haddocks that used to be inhabitants on the hard ground, when we used to go in the hard ground for these fine haddocks and things like that. And the water was, we had to go use a different type of a trawl for the deeper waters that we was in now. Coming from 30 to 40 fathoms, we was shoving out 270 fathoms. We still just skirting the 12-mile limit. And then when all these southern people like Argentina and all South America, they started to put a 200-mile limit on. Iceland banked a 200-mile limit on, and that went from point to point. Well, we just couldn't fish Iceland anyway. This is when the Navy came and they helped us for it must have been 9 months or 12 months we was there, and this is when the Icelandic gunboat was coming alongside and cutting your oars. So they were saying we were still inside their territorial waters. and their territorial waters in the end, it was touching just off the Scottish coast, one part on, off Rockall, I think it was cutting the bank of Rockall, off the Hebrides, which is seemed queer. Their coast, you know, their fishing line limits, they could come up to us. Well, cut a long story short, there we was beaten. We had to leave Iceland because then Norway had followed Iceland's idea that there was no grounds left. So that was the end of the fishing industry.